In the world of crypto, you hear a lot of terms thrown around, but there's one metric that really acts like a weather vane for the whole market. It's called Bitcoin dominance. So, what is it exactly? And why do so many people watch it like a hawk? Let's break it all down. All right, before we dive in, just a quick but super important reminder. This is all for informational purposes. It is not financial advice. Our goal here is purely to get you up to speed on the concept. So, to really get a handle on dominance, you first have to see the bigger picture. While Bitcoin is the huge name that everyone knows, it's actually just one piece of this massive universe of thousands of other digital assets. We call these altcoins, which is pretty much just a catch-all for any crypto that isn't Bitcoin. Okay, so if you imagine the entire crypto market as one giant pie, Bitcoin is by far the biggest slice. But as you can see, Ethereum and all those other altcoins make up a really significant chunk of the total value too. So that begs the question, how do we actually measure Bitcoin's influence over this incredibly diverse market? Well, that brings us right to the main event, Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a closer look at what this metric really is and how it works. So, what is it? Put simply, Bitcoin dominance is the percentage of the total crypto market cap that belongs to Bitcoin. You can just think of it as Bitcoin's market share of the entire crypto economy. It's that simple. And to put a real number on it, that figure often hovers around, say, 65%. Now think about that for a second. That means for every single dollar invested in the crypto market, about 65 cents of it is in Bitcoin. That is a huge share, and it really does anchor the whole ecosystem. Yeah, and because of that sheer size and its history, it was the first, Bitcoin pretty much acts as the benchmark for the whole market. Its ups and downs can create these ripples that affect almost every other digital coin out there. It's the standard that everything else is measured against. But here's where the real insight comes from. It's not just about what the dominance number is at any given moment. The real story is in watching how that metric moves over time. It's all about where it's heading. This is exactly why Bitcoin dominance becomes such a useful indicator for traders. You see, when it's rising, it's often a signal of a flight to safety. People are getting a little nervous, so they move their money into the relative stability of the big guy, Bitcoin. But when dominance is falling, well, that often signals a risk-on appetite. Investors are feeling bold, and they're chasing bigger returns in altcoins. And that falling dominance trend, that risk-on appetite, is what gets traders really excited about a phenomenon they call an altcoin season. So what in the world is an altcoin season? Let's get into it. An altcoin season is basically a period where a whole bunch of altcoins just start to go wild, significantly outperforming Bitcoin. What's happening is that capital is rotating out of a stable Bitcoin and pouring into these smaller, sometimes more speculative assets, creating this huge wave of momentum. And there's this typical cycle to how it all plays out. It often kicks off with a big Bitcoin rally. Then, once Bitcoin's price kind of cools off and stabilizes, traders start looking around for the next big opportunity. That's when its dominance can start to dip, and that's the trigger. Capital rotates from Bitcoin into promising altcoins, and boom, those smaller coins can experience these really rapid short-term price surges. But it is absolutely essential to keep this whole thing in perspective. Look, Bitcoin dominance is a powerful tool, for sure, but it is an indicator, not a crystal ball. So what are the key takeaways here? Well, first, Bitcoin dominance is an awesome indicator of market sentiment. Are people feeling fearful or greedy? Second, it is not a magical price predictor. Third, it's always best to use it with other indicators, like trading volume. And finally, it's a fantastic way to understand how money is flowing between the king, Bitcoin, and the thousands of other altcoins. All of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As this crypto universe just keeps expanding with thousands of new digital assets emerging, will Bitcoin stay the ultimate market barometer? Or, as the ecosystem matures, is a totally new standard on the horizon? That's something we'll all have to keep an eye on.